Are you looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/bluewire and use code BLUEWIRE. That's code BLUEWIRE at prizepicks.com/bluewire for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Support for this podcast comes from Frito-Lay and the 2023 Snack Bracket Championship. The Frito-Lay Snack-It Challenge is underway, and fans are voting on their favorite snacks to crown champion. We're talking about prime-time matchups between the best 64 snacks in the land. Will Ruffles Ridges reign supreme? Can Doritos defend their dynasty? Or will Smart Food use their smarts for a surprise upset? Only you can decide. Get in on all the action for a chance to win up to $1,000 or a year's worth of snacks. Let your snacks be heard. Just go to fritolaysnacket.sbnation.com to vote and enter for a chance to win. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends April 3rd, 2023. Void where prohibited. Year's worth of snacks awarded in the form of 52 coupons, each good for 1 bag of chips. See official rules at fritolaysnacket.sbnation.com.
Hello, fellow weirdos. Welcome to Mavs New Year's Eve party, because all of us are apparently not doing anything fun because I don't know. I want to say we're normal. We're normal because going out is overrated. It's expensive. I can drink from my couch, which I've been doing. And you know what? The Mavericks just won 126 to 125. And so here's the thing. There's going to be a tendency to hop in this room, and there's going to be a tendency to bitch. Because you know what? The Mavericks needed 51 points from Luka Doncic. But I don't want to do that tonight. You can do it if you want to, but I don't want to do that, which is my normal deal. I want to celebrate just a little bit, and then I want to go and hang out with my wife and my family for the rest of the evening. So for those of you listening the next day, you obviously know the Dallas Mavericks held off the San Antonio Spurs 126 to 125. Dallas needed a 51 piece from Luka Doncic. He is now averaging 42 points over their 6-game win streak, which is pretty damn preposterous, as they defeated a murderer's row of terrible teams. I'm having a great time, though, because frankly, like, scoring points is good. Winning is good, is sort of my take. And, you know, if they get bitch slapped by the Celtics and by New Orleans in early January, I need someone to remind me of the fact that this stuff was fun. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to call some folks up on stage, and we're going to chat for a little bit, and then we're going to go about our nights. Coming up first is my guy, Chris Haley, who I know will bring some positivity. Chris, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing, Kirk?
I am okay.
All right. It's always great to win against the Spurs, but the way we won, only winning by 1 point. Now, for Spurs fans that still want to beat the Mavs and hate to lose, I mean, this is a stinger for them. This has to hurt because they were pretty much losing the entire game, and that would have really sucked if, you know, towards the end, if they would have made that layup and we would have missed a shot at the end and then lose by 1 point. Like, that would be another one of those losses where just like, oh, this is going to kill us in the end.
The last 5 minutes of that game were some of the funniest things I've seen, like, in a basketball game. It was just a comedy of errors.
They were just out, and they were out hustling, I think, just on and the Pirtle was getting all those rebounds. I mean,
Pirtle's pretty good, man. They're going to be able to sell him for something. That's why, in terms of like trade assets, he's pretty dang interesting.
Hell, we couldn't even get a rebound until about 6 or 7 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's pretty concerning. My thing is like, and I'm happy we're on this winning streak. We're in the 4th seed. Things are looking great, but I'm just like
4th seed.
Yeah, I know, man. We were like the 11th seed probably like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's nuts. All these other teams, like all the fakers, like the Timberwolves, all these frauds, you know, they're slipping down really, if you look on the last 5 seeds in the West, those are the teams that are really I really feel like they're gonna miss the playoffs entirely. Not even make the play-in. I don't see the Timberwolves just being good. I think they're just a toxic team, and they gave up a lot of their future to get Gobert. So they got Anthony Edwards is great, but I mean, I don't know. They just don't play all that great. But as far as the Mavs, I'm happy where we're at, but I'm concerned only just when the guys come back, the Finney Smith and Josh Green, and I know Kleber's out, but are we going to be worse though? Like, is Luka going to try to trust in his teammates again? Because he's having to put up these historic numbers for us to like squeak by on a 1-point win or a 3-point win. Like, that's just kind of concerning. I feel like we're better right now with the other guys out, or I know we're not really, but we need the other guys back. But what do you think? I mean, just the state of we're just basically letting Luka just be Luka. So.
I don't have any decent insight, which is terrible since it should be my job.
I mean, Christian Wood is playing good too, and Dinwiddie, but the rest of the guys are just non-existent.
They're sort of leaning into their identity, which would be without the two players that you mentioned, Josh Green and Dorian Finney-Smith. They have to be offensively oriented. And the fact that they've done it and not lost a game is of value to me because Jason Kidd is a stubborn mule. He just is. And the fact that they're still doing this sort of stuff, winning the ball games is of importance to me. Now, am I a little worried about elements of the game? Sure. The fact that the Mavericks went 7 minutes in the fourth quarter without gathering a rebound seems something to worry about. But
I just feel like we'll get better shot. Like, I don't know if the beginning of the game, just these impulsive shots that either Dinwiddie takes or Tim Hardaway Jr., like they're just dribbling the ball a little bit, and then they just impulsively take a 3-point shot. Like, those kinds of shots are the worst ones. Like, those are the ones, a lot of them in the beginning of the season, what we're missing.
Well, they feel the worst when you get down by 15 all of a sudden. And instead, we're playing a pretty bad Spurs team that just couldn't really take advantage. And so this feels like one to sort of just mark in the checkbook in terms of being a positive game. You know, the fact that they won is better than the fact that they lost, but there's really nothing to take away from this. There's nothing. Luka's good, and that's it.
Yeah, we got to make up for those wins that, I mean, we should win this game either way, even if we lost the other ones in the season, but the games we lost earlier in the season against the bad teams, like, this is making up for it. I mean, we're in a better spot record-wise than we were last year, so just I mean, we could definitely get the 7-game winning streak against Houston and have momentum going into playing against the good teams. But other than that, you know, happy. I just hope Luka doesn't get injured by playing all these minutes. I mean, you can get injured at any time.
Yeah, but here's we're kind of spoiled by this minute shit. Dirk Nowitzki played 40-something minutes a game for 10 years.
Yeah,
Michael
you're right.
Finley played 42 minutes a game for 6 straight years, didn't miss a game. They're managing his minutes or they're managing his load overall. Like, the Mavericks are 11-4 when Luka plays this month. The other 2 games they lost. Duh.
Yeah.
But I think I feel okay. Okay. If he was 28, if he was, you know, in the spot that like Jokic has been in previous seasons, I might be a little more worried because Luka does play impact basketball and maybe he will sprain an ankle, but I'm not worried about the physical toll. I'm more worried about, I'm just sort of worried about boredom. But here's the thing that I want to take away that I think is positive. Luka Doncic has his biggest problem over the past 4 years, so his first 4 years in the league, has not been defense. It's been not taking shitty teams seriously. The fact that he's come and lay the wood during these games feels like an evolution that's important.
Well, maybe they've learned their lesson because we've dropped a shitload of games against bad teams. So I think he's kind of seeing that he's going to have to just put his foot on their throats and just be Luka. That's why he's dropping 50 burgers, 60 burgers. You know what I'm saying? So.
Sure. Well, I'm having a hell of a time watching them, though. It's fun.
Yeah, actually, my next game we'll go to will be against the Spurs. Oh, it'll be during spring break against the I'll go to a San Antonio game. And looking on TV, there's a bunch of Mavs fans like wearing Mavs gear. So I guess I feel okay wearing it now because back when they were competitive against the Spurs, like if you wear Mavs gear going to a Spurs game, you're going to be people talking shit to you. So.
I love it.
But anyway, but I hope you and your family and everybody here have a happy New Year's.
All right, thanks so much, man. Talk soon. All right, let's go next with my man Mike. How you doing, Mike? Welcome to the chat.
Hi, Kirk. How you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm great. Are you ahead of us or behind us? I can never remember where the internet.
We're now at pretty much 2:20 in the afternoon on the first of January. So you're just celebrating the new year.
Win.
That's it. Yep. But I'll look at it by your calendar. So it's nice to finish it on on a run of 6, even though, I haven't called in for a while, but my heart is normally pretty broken by the time these games finish. So, and this one was no different to that. But look, we'll take the wins. We're in a better spot than we were last year. Hopefully with a few of the defensive-minded crew coming back soon, we'll look pretty good. And even looking at the box score, the starters look pretty normal as a standard NBA box score, which is good. Just we had nothing off the bench, and it really sort of showed towards the end of the game there as the Spurs chipped back away, and we just couldn't get a goddamn rebound. It killed me. I was jumping up and down trying to rebound it through the TV myself. 16,000, kilometers away.
That's what was amazing is Luka normally grabs a couple of stray, kind of bullshit boards. And even ones from him were hitting his hands and just not, they just weren't, he just wasn't getting bored. And that sort of stuff was just slowly killing them.
It was like a pinball machine out there, but it just ended up in the wrong hands every time. And Pirtle was just, killing us on the glass. But, look, we got there in the end, and I just thought, Luka's got to show his genius on the free throw line twice between the New York game and this one, just bouncing it perfectly off the ring, front of the ring to himself, and that was impressive just to close it out. I didn't need to see one more play in that game; it would have completely broken me, I think.
Well, I tend to be the same way there because I was ready for the game to be over. I was ready to come talk to people, and then I was ready to go hang out with my wife for the rest of the night. Who I think she might have thought I was taking off tonight because the look she gave me when I said I was going to go do this was one of pure irritation.
Oh, I can imagine I'm getting that same look from my wife and my 2 sons who are in the pool outside. It's 100 degrees here, so I better go join them. But just wanted to say a quick thank you for all your work through 22. And, go Mavs.
Thanks, man. Have a good day. Happy New Year.
See you, Kate.
All right. Let's go with my guy, Micah. Micah, we're going to get this audio to work tonight. I can feel it. Tell me what you're thinking, friend. Give Mike, because there's been a little bit of connection issue on Micah's end lately. It depends sometimes if you're on a Wi-Fi signal versus if you're on a cell signal, because what'll happen is the app will pull you up on stage, but it'll disconnect you for a minute audio wise, which is a little bit frustrating from the user end. So I know how that goes. Micah, are you able to hit the unmute button and chat with us? All right. Bring him back up if we can here. Let's go with Simon. What's happening, Simon?
Hello, Kirk. I didn't get a chance to say Merry Christmas, so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, I was in the chat.
Where'd you go? We lost you.
Oh, can you hear me?
No, sounds like your phone's covered by a blanket.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
I know. We'll give you a second.
Can you hear me now?
Nope, still not coming through. Whatever you did there, you switched to something. Just the best time on New Year's Eve for everybody listening the next day.
All right, hold on.
There we go.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I was on the the live after the Knicks game, but I think I fell asleep before.
I hear you, man.
Before I was able to get on, so I wanted to make I had commentary that I wanted to make after that game.
Sure, let's do it now. I don't care.
Okay. The only thing I really wanted to say about that game is the funny thing about Luka is, and I've been watching him. I started following him his 2 years before he got into the NBA. I was on Kevin Pelton's draft stuff, and I heard of him like, wow, this guy sounds interesting, And since then till now, it's like I have more confidence in Luka making if you go to the shot he made in Portland his rookie year,
corner
three, the shot he made against Memphis that he won the game, right? It's like those shots, I'm like, and then the one he made against the Knicks sent it in overtime. It's like, I know he's going to make those shots, but when he has a free throw or a wide open three, I'm like, oh God, please go in. It's just fucking.
We kind of lost your audio again. I don't know what's up, my guy.
It's uncanny. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm on my balcony, so maybe it's if I step back a little.
That's
bit.
a good flex. I'm on my balcony outside.
I'm on my balcony. I'm on my balcony in Arlington, Virginia. I know you're I know you live in.
That's right.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of tonight's game. I was going back and forth. So I don't really have any insights from tonight's game.
No, there's nothing to take away from this game. I'm just glad we won.
There's nothing to take away. And it is kind of crazy. Like I think a previous guy said, how they moved up from 11 to 4.
Yep.
The West is so tightly packed, and that's really what gives the Mavs hope for the season. Is there's just not one team that's distinguishing itself from the pack, and that Luka could go nuclear any night, and as long as that happens and the threes go down from the role players, I will say though, I was watching the end of the game and the possession where the Mavs are trying to run out the clock, and then Tim Hardaway gets the ball. He dribbles up the sideline. As soon as he caught it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a disaster.
That's right.
Like you just knew it. Somehow you knew that was going to be the outcome. I think it was a turnover, and then thankfully, what's his name? How do you pronounce it? Sochin or Sohan?
Sohan, but I honestly didn't know how to pronounce it until tonight.
Yeah, because him and Luka got a little chippy there for a minute, but
he's ballsy. I like him. He's kind of nuts.
Tonight notwithstanding, because Luka made he made his threes, free throws. I mean, it's just going to be a recurring thing until he figures it out. But I will say this about Luka. So he executed the missed free throw putback the other night, and then tonight at the end of the game,
right.
He just does shit in basketball like that. You can't everything. The thing about Luka is the things that you can teach a player, he does well sometimes, and other times it's just like, it frustrates you. But everything that cannot be taught, he excels.
That's true. Yeah, the instinctual stuff is key.
The instinctual stuff, and also just his body type and the way he creates space, and you can kind of teach it, but you can't.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And he just seemed to master it. And I think you made a great point. I was looking at your Twitter earlier, and you said, his weakness is not his defense. It's just his focus night to night is the larger point. Like you said, sometimes in the past against the weaker teams, he kind of mails it in. But he's really seemed to, this year, he's been healthy all year. He hasn't had an injury. They've rested him on back-to-backs and whatnot. But he's really brought it. It's almost like he's aware of what the stakes are to win an MVP, and he's decided that this is the time of his career where he's destined to win one, and he's obviously got a lot more. He's got a lot more years to try and win one, but that's evolution and that's growth.
Well, thank you for hanging out with us tonight, man.
Yeah. Great talking to you as always.
Right. Talk soon. All right, we got Jiggy there in the chat, who probably wants to go do something else with his evening other than talk to us. But he swears he has a hot take, so find that unmute button, pull yourself out of the chat, and then we'll let you get off your take and go about your New Year's Eve. Get Jiggy is our man's handle. What's up?
What's up, Kurt? How's your New Year's Eve going?
It'll be good. I haven't eaten dinner yet, which is a problem. But
well, hopefully you got enough drink in you to balance it out.
That's right. What do you got for us?
I just wanted to say that I think this is Kid's coaching style that we are realizing in this season, and that is that he is a slow starter. He intentionally starts the team in a way that he doesn't think is going to work. And then knowing who his main guy is, he surrounds him with people at certain times in the game that he knows will work. And honestly, it seems like we are better off this year than we were last year.
Yeah, because Luka.
I'd love to hear your response to that and see what you think.
Luka did not play in December. That will help. Like, he missed almost the entire month. You go look at game logs because he was fat, and then he had an ankle sprain, and then he had COVID. Real helpful. So the fact that he's playing is helpful in comparison, but I don't think the team is better. I do think there's something to the concept of kid wanting to try a thing for a while and then going back to what'll work, which I think is understandable. I don't like it though, because I don't think the Mavericks are talented enough for it. I think Luka's good enough, but I will say that I have sort of enjoyed this win streak a great deal, but also think I've not learned anything about the team that's of consequence, because you go back and you play like, this is nothing to do with kids coaching, but
sure,
who the hell guards Zion Williamson when they played New Orleans? Like, I'm terrified. Like, there's just some things that are really going to go sideways for this team, but that's okay, because if you're winning the games you're supposed to win, it makes the games where you're not favored, I don't want to call them acceptable, but you're at least like not pissed. Like, it's understandable.
Yeah. So I'd like to get your answer to this, and that is, we're on the last day, obviously, of 2022. What are your predictions at the end of the regular season for our record? At least in the ballpark of what our record is going to be come May 2023.
I'd say probably something like 45 and 37. Enough above 500 to where they're probably in the top 6, because the West is just a knife fight, but nothing definitive that really makes it stand out. Now that could change. But the way that the schedule makers have done some things, like Dallas plays Memphis 3 times in March, that's gonna like change the way, that's going to determine the season to a degree.
Yeah.
We're done playing the Rockets on January 2nd. So it's, the Mavericks have had a lot of scheduling luck if you really go back and look at who wasn't playing for other teams, along with like back-to-back and rest stuff. And, sometimes that just happens. So I think that they're not quite good enough to win the 50 games that I'd hoped for. But I still think that they're going to, unless like something ridiculous happens, or like they do some kind of trade that really changes things, which I don't see what that could be. But I don't think there's anything wrong with like a 45 and 37 season. The NBA is hard. The West is nuts this year. I feel, compared to where I was a couple of weeks ago, like, I'm glad that they're winning the games they're supposed to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Happy New Year, brother. Appreciate you faithfully doing this, and Happy New Year to everyone else. And 2023 is going to be a great year for the Mavs.
Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Yeah, the Mavs record in the calendar year 2023 is actually quite ridiculous. So we'll see where we go from there. All right, Micah, we're going to try this again. This is like 4th straight show you've not been able to hop on, so I'm not sure what's going on here. So I'm not going to be able to bring you up, because this is getting tough. Find that unmute button when you pull yourself out of the chat. There we go.
All right, Kurt, you got me? Can you hear me?
I got you. What is going on? Tell me.
Oh man, Happy New Year's, Kurt.
You as well.
Yeah, good win. It's easy to try to find a way to bitch about like barely beating bad teams, but the thing about bad teams is they're bad because they're young, and sometimes young guys can surprise you. So anytime you get any kind of win is a win. And I still think it's hilarious that Pop said, "We're going to hold them under 50." Quote that.
That was crazy that he said it, and then it became kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that the Mavericks needed all the points.
Right, exactly. And, I don't know. It's like we just, at the end of the day, we all accept that this roster is pretty much mid, and it's just gonna. I just look at it like we're gonna have like a season or two of take your medicine for all the bad moves made in the past. It's just,
well, this one might
hopefully we stop piling on. But yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, this might be that season, but if they're still winning games, that's okay.
Right. Exactly. I mean,
All right, you got anything else for us this evening?
no, man, that's it. It's just this kid is just amazing. He keeps on surprising me. I just don't know what to expect anymore.
I love it.
Right.
Neither do
It's
I. That's
not
why I keep tuning in, even on a bullshit game against the San Antonio Spurs.
right. Exactly.
All right, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
All right, so let's go to my man, Marcio. How you doing? Find that unmute button for us. Found the unmute button. That's good. Now we'll see if the audio will work for you. I sound terrible again, by the way, guys. Texas is disagreeing with me this time of year. All right, my man. I'm gonna have to move on to the next, and we'll try again later. Just if the audio will work. Frank, how you doing, Frank? Welcome to the show. Oh nope, can't bring up. Frank told me last night that I wasn't giving people enough time up on stage, and then I didn't actually hit the button for him. What's going on, dude?
No, I got you. That was funny. I thought you were trolling me.
No, I was like hitting the button. It wouldn't accept you.
No, I don't have nothing to add, man. I'm just wondering, the agenda is flying right now. Luka's best player, it's everywhere right now, man. Like, where? I mean, if you can you're pretty objective, objectively speaking. Where do you have Luka, man? Is he the best player in the league right now? Is that more of a week to week thing? Is that something we can generalize over the course of what we've seen so far for the year, or do you have to just go off of, like I said, a week to week thing? What do you think?
I think in week to week terms, as of late, the best players would be some order of Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, who is just getting hated on, and I have a theory as to why. Mainly, it's because he won't shut the fuck up, and people are annoyed with him. And Luka, and then I think Jokic obviously makes an incredible case night in and night out. I think Giannis, the man just had 2 40-20 games. So
I had to go look at Jokic, and I was like, his stats look fine, and their team record looks good. But I actually had to go look at his basketball reference. His on-off stats are
preposterous.
Yeah, and Luka's are up there too. But my God,
they can't play
strange.
Without Jokic.
How
they
though?
Cannot play.
Switch teams right now. Put Luka on that squad right now, dude. And you would be like, oh my God, this is the help we've been clamoring for. I don't get it. Because if you put Jokic on this team, our team,
I hate their coach. Their coach might. He's not bad. It's just he's been their coach forever. And I think at a certain point you have to make a change. And I think this will be the year they do it if they don't go the way they want to go. It's an interesting deal there. But I mean, it's really I think Tatum has sank a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not, it's so many guys are playing so well right now. I think Luka will probably be, Western Conference Player of the Month. Because all the guys I mentioned were on the Eastern Conference side of things, which is interesting. But, he'll make a strong case. To me, Luka still might be kind of second-tier MVP stuff just because I think narratively it's going to be hard for him to shake. I don't think they're going to reward another 6-seed team.
Well, that's what you get for losing to Orlando and then to the Thunder and to the Pistons. And it's the same thing as last year with the narratives. He came, you got Bill Simmons or whatever that guy's name is, and everybody else talking about Luka's fat and out of shape. And then he just couldn't shake the narrative the rest of the year, even though he was playing like Super Saiyan from the new year on. So it's I totally agree. Sadly.
Yeah. It's such a long season. We're at the 40-game-ish mark.
Wow.
The final 30 games are what projected what put Luka back into the NBA all first team thing. There's still plenty of time to make a case. There really is.
Well, the schedule for January is nuts, and if we can at least keep maintain, I don't care what the record is, but if we maintain our seeding, I think he has a chance to bump up to tier 1. And and then KD, that win streak they're on, that's the quietest, whatever 10+ winning streak I've ever heard in my life. Maybe it's because we're too sucked in.
No, people stop paying attention because they're so damn annoying.
Right, indeed. But yeah, man, it just and then Luka being I don't even believe it. It's like somebody making it up. The top 10 in defensive rank. I don't know what the stat is.
Yeah, that the individual defensive rating doesn't matter. I mean, he is playing better defense. He got one of the
but we see what he is. He's not that.
Yeah.
he's not that. Like, let's be real. We know. I mean, he when he wants, he can step it up. But I don't know, man. But I mean, I know we come in here and this room has already gone 30 minutes and it's against the Spurs, and I know there's not a lot to talk about, but my God, dude, we have. I mean, I don't care. He might not be, narratively speaking, the best player in the league right now, but he's untouchable. He's untradeable.
I mean, in a single
no
game,
team double teams him more. Like if when other teams play Tatum and maybe Tatum and other guys that are comparable to him, they don't. I don't. And I could be speaking out of the side of my mouth because I don't watch every game in the NBA, but there's no way they're game planning for him. Luka is the boogeyman. Like, he is what nightmares are. I mean, like, there's nothing you can take away from him. There's nothing. Yep. Do you think darkness is your ally? Like, no, like, type thing. He was born in the shadows. I mean, I don't know, man. I just wish what we clamor for is we wish the eye test more would like be an attribute to how we award MVP, because the eye test says the guy is the most dominant force since, whoever.
I think for a single game, the players who I would want start with Luka.
Yeah,
I don't think that's MVP discussion stuff, but for a single game, it might be Luka.
Yeah, if the Space Jam aliens come and they're like, we want your, and we had to put our best five together, Luka's on that squad, dude, and I don't know, man. I just want it for him. I love just the high we get from the team and the. If we can have a strong January, and it'd be nice. I care. I win first. I want a championship. I don't really give a shit about the MVP when it comes to winning.
I think Luka's the same way.
But it's still fun, and I don't know, man. I can't get enough Luka content, man. It's just amazing. It's amazing. But happy New Year, dude, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.
Today's episode is brought to you by Cars.com. With over 2 million vehicles and 50,000 more added every day, Cars.com will match you with the perfect car for you, your budget, your life, your style. And if you're ready to say goodbye to your current car, Cars.com will get you an instant offer to cash it in. Just start by entering your license plate and get matched with a local dealer who will write you the check. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, just go to Cars.com. It's magical.
All right, let's try my man Marcio again.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello. Well,
hey, so I honestly I just wanted to thank you for doing this, because as a Mavs fan from Brazil, I have no one to talk about this shit. So thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. That's why I keep doing it, because people tell me they like it, and being able to hear from friends across the world is so fucking cool. And I'm grateful that you are willing to listen.
It's great. I mean, I love to listen mainly after losses, because I need the therapy. You know what I mean?
I do.
The wins are nice, but the losses are the tough ones.
Well, the people who are able to just move on to the next after a loss, I envy that ability, because I stew, and I want to overanalyze and talk with friends, and that's the best part.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way as well. So I just wanted to thank you for doing this because I didn't have anyone to talk to. I don't have anyone to talk to, but at least I can process the loss better.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, man.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll talk soon. I'm pretty sure I've talked with Marcio on Twitter before too, because and one of my weird 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon basketball story, I played a year of basketball with a guy named Marcelo Huertas, who has spent his past 20 years playing professional basketball, Brazilian national team, incredibly, just fantastic point guard. So I've always followed like Team Brazil because the man, like I remember in 2007, he showed up in Las Vegas during the FIBA America tournament. And I was like, holy crap, that's my old teammates. I just had lost touch with him because he's from Brazil. So I love Brazilian basketball players. They're my favorite. Krishna, what do you got? You're one of the final two.
Sorry, I was in the chat.
That's okay. No, that's fine. I am, as my man Frank pointed out to me, I'm very quick on the trigger when I decide I want to bring somebody up.
No,
so what's up?
It's not a problem. I was thinking about Leandro Barbosa when you're talking about Brazilian players.
Oh, I got to watch. So I made a point in 2012. It was a Team USA World warm-up game before the Olympics. I bought tickets to Washington, D.C. because they were like priced. They were somehow like I was sitting in the fifth row, center court, right behind Fran Fraschilla, watching Team Brazil play Team USA. And I got to see my friend play against Durant, Kobe, and LeBron. And it was like, what the shit? It was the coolest basketball game I have ever been to in my life. Now, Brazil didn't have any shooting, but they had like 6 or 7 NBA players because it was like you still had Nene was on the
yes,
team.
Nene. I forgot about Nene.
Barbosa. There's a Brazilian point guard backup right now. Gosh, I can't remember his name, but he was like a youth in 2012. So
I cannot remember
that sort of stuff.
I just remember Barbosa because like he was on those Phoenix Suns teams like late in his career, and then he was on. I think people forget like the Warriors pre Kevin Durant had depth. Like Sean Livingston and like Barbosa coming off the bench were like really solid pieces.
So Tobias in the chat notes Raul Neto.
Yes.
He was a baby in 2012 and looked terrified to be playing those guys.
I mean, who wouldn't be? Like literally it's kind of unfair on some level. Like you play Team USA, it's literally like playing an all-star game. Like you're playing against an all-star team every single time. But yeah, Happy New Year, Kirk. Obviously, it's weird, right? Like maybe this injury thing has not been so bad because Luka has looked and said like, oh, no one is going to do anything, so I should probably just drop 50 on every team I'm playing. Yeah. But it's tough to be mad because you rather than win ugly than just lose and like play really well. So I'm not going to complain because there's no need to complain, but it's weird. Like I don't really have anything to predict for this season or complain. It's just it'll be interesting to see where this season goes because it's been such a turn. And yeah, like you said, like what does this team do going forward? And it's kind of hard to definitively say like they have this path or that path.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I would have had more to say, but I think everyone's kind of taken it from me, and that's good. I just hope everyone has a happy new year. And like everyone's been saying, it's been great to have these kind of spaces, 77 spaces too, like fans to talk about and voice their opinions. And I think it's great. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, night, whatever they may be, and stay safe.
All right. Thanks, man. Talk soon.
You too.
Okay. We got 2 more folks. Michael, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Kirk, thanks for taking my call, or request, I suppose. Yeah, I guess, so I joined late, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on McKinley Wright all of a sudden getting like 20 minutes a game.
Well, the fact that he's not done anything to make us yell at him seems like a monumentally important achievement. He's been in the game and hasn't screwed up. He's not done anything that really stands out. I know Kid talked about his defense, but the guy's 5'11". Effort was going to get you so far. I'm delighted they've been able to make use of a two-way player. He's older than Luka, though, so I don't really know if there's much of a NBA level future for him with the Mavericks. But sometimes you just got to string stuff together, and I'm pleased he's helping.
Yeah, I think between him and Kemba, like I know that Kemba had that one game where he went off against Cleveland, but then it's like his knee just like had like overload and just like couldn't handle. He was out for like 3 or 4 games after that. And I just feel like it's probably better to have someone who can like provide some ball pressure, like play like 15, 20 minutes a night.
Yep.
Probably not 20 minutes a night, like once if and when, Josh Green and DFS come back. But even then, it's like those guys weren't like handling the ball that much. So I feel like even when they do come back, he still probably stands a good chance of getting like 10 to 15 a night. But I don't know. I think I might prefer having him in the bench group over Kemba, just because Kemba is just so streaky, and then it's like whenever it seems like he does have a good night, then it's just like he's either not going to be available for
availability. I debate this with lots of people. Availability is the most important asset for a bench player.
Yeah, because who knows what happens? Like maybe Spencer's in foul trouble or something. Like you have to be dependable. And even though like McKinley Wright might not be like the pull-up threat that Kemba is, like just that, I think he provides something. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they come back. But yeah, I mean, I think it was I don't know. I thought it was like an interesting thing that I observed tonight. Thanks for holding this on. Wait, what? Is it New Year's Eve?
Apparently, yeah. No, I'm not doing anything. I think my wife's annoyed with me, but that's no different than any other day.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep, talk soon. All right, we got one more speaker here coming up. Two, because Brandon just joined us. But first, we're going to go to Mr. Orr. How you doing?
Kurt. Happy New Year's from Slovenia.
Happy New Year. Can barely hear you.
Okay, I'll try to talk a bit louder. Is that better?
No, I'm not sure. What's the audio input on your end? Is it headphones or is it your is it like your phone speaker?
Yeah. Well, okay, I just want to say Happy New Year's, and Mavs are giving me a heart attack. So that's a good and a bad thing. Good that we got the win. I just wanted to talk about opportunities, and we mentioned Wright. And Frankie is playing well. The only thing I like about what's happening with Mavs right now, because I can't stand the fact that they're almost losing to really, is the fact that the younger Mavs are getting some opportunities, right? So
sure.
Frank is playing decently, Wright looks okay. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because most of our regular guys are around 30 or over 30.
Yeah.
And the thing with Christian Wood, and for how many years should they sign the contract with him, is pissing me off, because we can't really afford not to keep him. The guy is 27. Everybody else is around 30, which basically means, with Luka being 23, 24, we need to go younger. And, I understand Christian Wood has some brain farts sometimes, but he works, he works with Luka, and Luka can make him like a gazillion dollars player.
Yeah.
Trade him at some point, we can trade him, but first he has to sign. And I really hate the front office dragging their feet and going like, no, 2 years, maybe yes, no. I mean, look, we lost Brunson. Everybody get serious. So, we need to gradually go younger. And I think probably the front office knows this, but I don't quite appreciate the way they're going around, with doing this. I think this team is bipolar. This basically means they're gonna give us heart attacks for next couple of games. I want to see how they do against Celtics and against Pelicans. So let's see what happens then. Maxi is out, but hopefully we get Josh back. So just to see, what can happen. Luka is dragging everyone like crazy, but that's not a solution, right? We all know that. It's good for him. I'm glad that he's taking the games against lower seeded teams seriously. That was needed. We have to be critical of him as well. So he's not goofing around as much. So that's good. But I really want to test this team, and by testing this team, I don't mean just the players. I want to see what Kid and the coaches are going to do, right? I want to start seeing some coaching against good teams that will give me some hope, in what's about to happen in the playoffs. Because it's time, we say, oh, it's only so many games, but we've been saying this, oh, it's only 10 games, it's only 30 games.
Sure.
The time is ticking, right? So I try to be positive. So I don't want to bring everyone down, but I'm like, chop, let's do some stuff. But to end this on a positive vibe, so happy New Year's to you, your family, all the MFFLs around the world. I really enjoy the fact that you get people calling you from all over the world, and I also appreciate the fact that you actually run this thing where we can be critical, because that's needed. And
well, that's my favorite part.
We try to do it in a positive way, in a way, although we swear sometimes, we nag sometimes, but it's healthy. Certain things have to be said out loud, and then we can have a really nice discussion. So much appreciate, my man, and I especially appreciate your grumpiness, because I'm Gen X and we're cynical bastards. So that's
all right, we'll talk soon. Have a good one. All right. I appreciate your grumpiness, because I'm Gen X is pretty amazing. Brandon, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Kirk? Hey, I appreciate your grumpiness too, man, because I feel like I'm not the only one sitting there feeling some type of way after the Mavs lose or barely get one or barely get a win. So much appreciation, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. I was thinking about whenever Powell fouled out, and I'm like, man, I wonder. To me, I just wonder how much of a difference as it is in defense between Powell and Wood, because they're not great defenders. And then on top of that, if you do lose Powell or don't bring him back and then lose Christian Wood as well, it's not like a super big drop off in defense. So I mean, that's something I think the Mavs would definitely have to address. That spot right there, because they haven't had just a solid big defender maybe since the Tyson Chandler days that they could just put in there and just for a while it was DeAndre Jordan for a little bit. I mean, not just super, but rebounds specifically. But they haven't had that type of contribution in a long time. So I understand that Dallas is looking for a second type of star or a second type of role player to play along with Luka. But I think that at 5 spot is definitely an issue. And even though Powell isn't just like the best defender, sometimes he's just a warm body. Losing him and Wood, just having JaVale on the court that would be a problem, because that would be the long big. So that's something they really got to take care of.
Well, I'm sort of at the point in the year where it just feels like every win has to be. I'm somewhat thankful for it to a degree, because it's just such a slog. They played 17 games this month in 31 days. And that's a lot. I mean, the NBA tends to want to space the schedule out, but I bet if I were to go look at January, I bet they don't play more than 15. And you're going to say, if you're listening to this, like, oh, that's not a big deal. It's only 2 games. Well, it's 2 games. It's it's 2 whole days of rest.
Right.
That they get. Like, they get 2 days off after they play Houston. They haven't had 2 days off in a long time, because the Mavericks early point in the season, they were going, we were only recording like through 2 to 3 times a week, because they had so much time between games. And then they hit December, and it was just like game. And so it's just, I don't know. I'm very critical. That's my deal, but I'm not too it's going to be harder for me to be too critical just at this point, because there's just some built-in factors that are reasonable excuses for why things may not turn out the way we would like them to on paper.
And I'm glad you brought up on paper. I was thinking about Spencer, and I kind of wonder if he's just like, I need to take as least amount of shots as possible and just let Luka do his thing, kind of like Batman and Robin, because I think he dropped like 14 today. But I mean, with Luka just burning them dudes like that, I kind of wonder if Spencer's just like, or he has no choice but to sit there and just let Luka do his thing. So if. To me, he's a great off ball guy, because he doesn't really command a lot of shots. But to me, I think he would really be hopefully get another chance to if they did get another guard to show that he could be a leader on that second squad. But man, those numbers, like you said, they're sparingly. You got to take what you could get. 14 from Spencer and a couple from Tim and Christian, and the rest are just average Mavs numbers. But just going into the season, just looking at the roster, I don't think anybody could really expect a lot of good stuff. But just one more thing off the subject, man. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Pacers or anything, but here these last few games, his boys have been doing their thing. I think they've scored like 120 in the last 3 or 4 games or something like that. So he got a lot of work to do, but he's starting to. He has a lot of talent. I wish we had some of that talent over there on the Mavericks squad, though.
Well, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. All right.
All right. Thank you, Kurt.
All right. Talk soon. We got one more guy. Then I'm gonna go eat, even though it's 10:00 at night. Mr. Douglas,
Hey,
what's
what's
up?
going on?
Welcome. What are you thinking?
Good win. It's stressful at the end.
Yeah.
No,
I was laughing.
It's very stressful. I'm like, why you have Tim Hardaway with Luka at the backcourt, knowing that they're gonna trap Luka, and he's gonna have to pass it to a ball handler, which is technically not Tim Hardaway, and he just dribbles into a turnover. Like, he should have not have been in that position. He should have been Spencer and Luka at that part of the court dealing with that situation. Like, Tim Hardaway should not be handling the ball in any current time situation. Like, that killed me. And going back to what what's the name just said about Rick Carlisle and them guys over there. You saw how Rick Carlisle got thrown out the last game because of a traveling on Donovan Mitchell that wasn't called. And you see how pissed he was and got tossed. That's the emotion that Jason Kidd sometimes got to show for his players. Yeah. Like these guys are getting clobbered out there, man. Like, show some emotion, But I mean, I'm just happy we got this win streak going. Like I said, we got a lot of bodies out, and it's just good to see that the vibes are good. And lastly, with Luka, it's like when you watch the game, he does everything so easily. It's like it's effortlessly. It's really amazing to watch. And it's like we're waiting for, Luka dropped 60, but we're waiting for a game where it seems like everything clicks, like shot making, his 3-pointers click, he's crazy percentage from the free throw line for that perfect game. I just want to see that perfect game when everything is good on the twos, he's good on the threes, he's good on the free throw, everything is great. And I just want to see what that stat line will look like when he just pretty much have like a perfect game. I'm just waiting for that to happen. But other than that, man, I don't know how we do it. December comes around, New Year comes around, we just start winning. But
oh, it's fun. It's fun, man. That's what Coop just tweeted something to the effect of, enjoy the moment. It's so hard for people. The history of what we're watching right now is pretty preposterous. Like, he's just going nuts. Luka's going nuts, and I'm having fun with that. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, one more thing. I'm sorry. In regards to the coaching reference that he brought up, the last person from, I think she's from Slovenia, in regards to Jason Kidd actually coaching against good teams. Like, I want to see what he really does. I want to see what he really does against Boston and Pelicans in those situations, instead of like having Tim Hardaway in that situation. Like, I want to see him actually make some coaching.
I understand.
Some coaching impact. And I know Callie Kaplan, she asked him a question in the post-game press conference. She pretty much asked him, do you think it's okay for Luka to pretty much have to be putting up 50 against teams of this caliber, knowing the roster that we have? And his answer, of course, was like, he's been doing it against everybody, but that's kind of like how we feel. Like, we have to put up 50 against the Spurs to win. Like, but let me not be a downer. Be happy. We're going into the new year on a win streak, so happy about that.
All right, my guy. Thanks for hanging out.
See you against the Celtics.
All right, talk soon. Bye, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. I think it's Saturday. This whole week has been weird. Everybody be good, and we will talk when they play the Rockets, which I'm pretty sure is Monday night. Happy New Year. Go Mavs.